What up? What up? What up? Mic check, everybody. OE Sun is in the building. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. Really, you can call me OE Goldsmith, and we're gonna definitely talk about that today. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, Sifu OE Goldsmith is in the building. I'm gonna have to change my whole situation today. But welcome to um, the new podcast. I've been thinking about calling it Little Jeffrey because it's all about my inner child. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is all about inner child and T and all the things that go with inner child, like relationships, sex, human design, all of that. And today, it wouldn't be any fun if my homie couldn't have none. That I'm not sure if any of you have really sat down and saw some of the work that I did over in Bali, you know, and one of them was an amazing video with this brother right here named Luke Cohen. He is down in Costa Rica right now, and I'm going to let him introduce himself in just a hot second, you know, but as first, you know, we got to get a view or two, you know, over here, you know, with the situation. Where's my hey. Oh, is this it? Oh, there we go. What you mean you can't? What you mean you can't capture a different screen? No. No. Yes, you can. Yes, you can capture the screen too. You better get on it. All right. Can you see that?
No. I just see we got small in the corner. It looks like you're about to bring something up like a screen share, but I don't see nothing.
I absolutely had plans on it, you know. But what I'm about to show y'all.
You have to give them a link, bro.
Hey man, I see y'all acting crazy over here. What if I try to share the entire screen? What happens then? Well, guess what? Today is just gonna be me and Luke then, because I don't play that. We ain't gonna keep having technical issues. No. However, I will post a video, T Life by Luke Cohen, featuring some of your finest, you know, that you know and love and don't know yet, but you will love. Y'all give it up for my man Luke Cohen in the building. What up, Lord? How you feeling?
Feeling blessed, feeling grateful. Yeah, wholeness. What's up, fam?
What part of the world you in today?
Yeah, I'm in Costa Rica. I'm down here in Uvita, in the Sacred Triangle over here. This whole area is lit. And
Sacred Triangle. Now they have they have a golden triangle up in California where they got the good.
Yeah.
They got the good cannabis. You know what I'm saying? Is this triangle have some of that good cannabinoid enhancements there?
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, you can find what you need. You know, you can find what you need. But it's golden because it's like there's this sacred waterfall that's up in the valley. Really special spot. Kind of reminds me of Peru a little bit. And then you have this geographical anomaly, which is the whale tail. That's because it's the only waterfall that's coming from a deep thermal underspring. So the spring waterfall that's shooting up, and then it creates this geoanomaly of like this whale's tail. It looks just like a whale's tail, and whales actually come and give birth there and do their thing. And it's one of the only ones that creates that current all year round. So other anomalies like this, they just do it for part of the year seasonally. And this is just going all the time, just creating this vortex of energy. So it's a really sacred place. And there's, you know, each spot has its little gifts. But, you know, Costa Rica is kind of spread out in terms of community especially compared to, you know, where we met.
Right.
Yeah,
well, brother, you got to give everybody an introduction. People here, we want to know you. I'm OE Sun, Team Taurus, 3-5 emotional, 4 generator in the building. And I'm here in Salem at the Sustaining Life Wellness Center. Luke, drop that science on, let folks know where you at.
Yeah, 5-1 Manny Gen, emotional authority, a lot of gates, but I'm pretty open too. Yeah, I'm here at Awake at this Eco Village. It's a collaborative spot. I've been in the sort of evolutionary space for a minute, last 20 years on this journey of healing and really tapping in with the elders for a long time. And so I'm a bridge between worlds. I'm a bridge between the spiritual dimensions and the business world. I'm a bridge between the pre-colonial and post-colonial worlds. You know, I'm here to weave as a nodal point for the consciousness of Mother Earth and her full expression through as many beings that want to play together and help heal this generational stuff we inherited. So that's my main mission, is to shift culture on the planet. and nation build, and really through music, through spiritual comedy, through healing work, to community building, and eco villages is like a big why, because I've seen the children. I already seen the ancient future vision of the children that are coming. They need safe sanctuaries to land in, and just their body, just having them, those souls on the planet in the body is going to shift the grid forever. So I'm just here for the children, man.
His resume just rolls down like a scroll. He just got to hold it up like this, and he just hit the top part. There's still
that's
more.
just a little snippet.
So what kind of tea you sipping on lately? That's what I want to know, because this
Oh
is
man, you already know. So my homie recently put me on. He was like, "You got to try mixing chaga with jagulang." So it's chagulang, and that combination of the chaga with the jagulang does like some kind of alchemical joint. So I've been making my own coconut milk every morning, and so I got my fake coffee, which I do with a lot of different mushroom blends, and then I'll have that chagulang in the evening. But you know me, I stay on those old pu'ers, bro, and I like my matcha lattes with coconut milk as like kind of like an unofficial ceremonial boost mid afternoon. So I have my pu'er in the morning with my fake mushroom coffee with dandelion and all the that strong electric combo, the Sebi special alkaline coffee, bro. And they don't know about that. Well, some of them do, but
I got
that's how I
a.
like to kick it off. Yeah.
I'm still a oolong man. I love chai
Yeah.
tea. I was drinking
Yeah.
chai tea. I thought that was the cat's meow until I became a tea snob kind of more when I got in Bali, but I had started
You did
drinking
do.
in Malaysia. I was trying to
Okay.
go to Bali and got stuck there and ended up in a tea house where all they
Mm-hmm.
had was like high-end oolong and
Yeah.
high-end pu'er. And I was there
Yeah.
for like 4 hours. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that you could get tea high, right?
Oh yeah.
So a
That's
lot
what's
of
up. I mean, tea drunk is a real thing. You can drop in. Everyone likes to go to the strong medicines, but to me, the Canilla Centellus is the real master teacher. It's the real, that plant spirit is the OG, and it teaches stillness. It teaches deep, 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 deep regulation, deep listening. I
mm,
respect all the other master teachers, but that's the one that woke me up. That's the one that's been my companion through it all. So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
and I love
yes.
I love I love a good oolong too, bro. I mean, people sleep on oolongs. A lot of the old tea drinkers, they just love old pu'ers, and we get addicted to the old pu'ers, and we just like that deep, earthy. But I have like a red tea I drink sometimes. It's really, really like refined, and in the Taiwanese style when we do the sniffing cups too. So you smell the essences. That oolongs are nice. The red teas are real nice with that. Yeah,
Mm,
more subtle,
mm.
more subtlety.
So, are you what do you favor, pu'er or oolong,
Oh man,
or is it or is it the company that you're drinking in? Or
it's
yeah,
oh wait. I mean, listen, I love my own company, bro. I drink tea with myself the most, but I love pouring for other people. Other people, I love taking them on a little journey, giving them a taste of different, because you tell them at the end, hey, that was all the same plant. They're like, what? You know what I mean? Like people don't realize it's all the same plant, except if you have cha in Chinese is tea, chai is tea in Indian. So when you say chai tea, you're saying tea.
TT.
Yeah, chaya is tea, and it's black tea, which is Assam, which is a different plant. So you have Assam, and then you have Canilla scintillus, and Canilla is all the pu'ers, oolongs, greens, matchas. All that is the same plant. The chais and the blacks is Assams. Yeah.
Well, one of the ways that I love using oolong and pu'er is to relax my nervous system. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is rooted in that. As a martial artist yourself, you know that meditation is important. And when the nervous system is all strung up and things like that, or wound too tight, we don't get the results that we're looking for. You feel what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm really sensitive to caffeine, but pu'er breaks it down, metabolizes it differently. Matcha is also time release when you have that coconut milk aspect, which from a Japanese cultural perspective, it's probably like sacrilegious to throw the coconut milk. They do it different out there, you know. But for me, it's like I'm not a coffee drinker anymore. I used to do my bulletproof thing, but like a matcha latte, you just get sustained energy. You don't have a crash. When you drink pu'er later in the evening, you won't get overstimulated unless it's a really bad pu'er, which
Nah,
not gonna find me with that.
let's
You
not
know what I
wish
mean?
let's not wish any let's not wish that on anybody.
No. But it takes time, you know. If you're new to this tea life, you know, sometimes you gotta drink some bad teas and to have the contrast and the perspective, you know. So a lot of people that sell, you know, you go to Chinatown, you go online, you know, you gotta find your right source, just like anything. You're not gonna just put any tincture in your body. You want to see if it's third batch test, third party tested for heavy metals. You know, same thing with tea. You got tea with pesticides. You got tea that's organically grown, traditionally harvested. You know, a lot of the Taiwanese lineages that I work with is all traditionally cultivated, so there's no pesticides. It's organic. You get a
Mm,
lot of pesticide tea, and that's where the first wash really came from. They didn't
mm,
used to do that back in the day. They didn't do a first wash. They just washed the cups. They didn't wash the tea. But now you got to do that first wash just in case there's pesticides or how it was stored too long. You got to give it that first little clean it off. But with a
mm,
lot of the good teas, you know, I don't do a first wash. I drink that first pour. You know, if I
mm.
know if I know where the tea is really coming from.
Oh, so you drink the first one.
If it's
Mm.
high quality tea, yeah.
This is good because sometimes I think, well, I know in Thailand when I'm drinking with some folks and it's high end, they still hit the wash. Like they don't give you the first one. Now on some white tea, they're like,
Yeah.
yo, we'll give you the first one. But on
Right.
some long in tea shops, they normally wash that first one.
Yeah. Well, they want you to taste it when it wakes up, not when it's sleepy. You know.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. Well, for those of you who have not experienced, and this is like, I'm such a tea hound. My joint is like right here. You know what I'm saying? Like I have
Hmm.
to get up and move or anything to get my tea set. Um, but I really like the fact that it gets better as it goes. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I
Yep.
really like that when somebody's like, "Ooh, this is good." I say, "Wait till the third cup. Just relax. Just relax." And I say that a
Yeah.
lot because what I found in tea, when I started going to silent tea ceremonies or where the person was just like, "Yo, first 3 rounds, no talking." Because even when you're at the table and you're eating, you're taking away from your digestive system because
Mm.
you got energy to talk when you could be letting your food digest. So
Hmm.
that time when all you are doing is just sitting in the tea and just like
Hmm.
smelling it, and it's just like the world just all of a sudden wraps around you and the tea and the
Mm.
fragrance because a
Mm.
lot of times we don't really use our olfactory system like that. And
Right.
me being a meditator and qigong and all the things that I appreciate in a very stressed out environment called America, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Which you be bobbing and weaving America like you Floyd Mayweather, just like, hey,
In and out, baby.
right. Um, and I'm
Yeah.
not and I'm not hating on America like a lot of people because I love America. I might not love all Americans, but I love the country because you can make as much money as you want here when a lot of other countries there's a ceiling, there's caste
Hmm.
system. You could be born broke here, but you could die very rich. But in other parts of the world, they
It's
don't
harder
have
to
the
do that.
they don't have
Yeah.
the type of freedom that we
Mm.
need to really grow into our spiritual selves. Can you talk about that a little bit? Why some people, when they go spiritual, they kind of turn their back on money, but you still need money when you're spiritual. You still got to pay rent and have nice things and the experiences
Hmm.
that you want to have. What you got to say about that, bro?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that you prompt me on that one because I had a really deep journey with that. You know, early on, my spiritual awakening happened through a healing crisis. So I left. I went on I went on one job interview and I was like, I'm gonna be miserable. and I just went right to India. I waited tables, went to India, and on that Indian lineage is you have the sadhu, who is a wandering saint or a wandering monk, a wandering being that they've prioritized spirituality over all else. So there's a lineage of that renunciation of the world that you do. You renounce everything and you just go on your path. And I was really in that at first, you know, and I needed to do that. I needed to let go of my previous identity, where I came from. You know, everyone thought I was crazy. I came back to New York with a big ass Jesus beard after being over there for a year and studying with these yogis. And, you know, I started to reintegrate, and I was like, okay, like I need to get payment and do what I do to do that, and started to have to learn to reintegrate, and then eventually, you know, got into entrepreneurship and things like that. And I've always had this interesting relationship with money, especially coming from, you know, half my lineage is Jewish, and there's a real ability to work with money, but also this other energy that I don't like this withholding, or this kind of, you know, trying to finesse things and get the best deal, and like, which, you know, capitalism kind of breeds in us. But for me, I had to work that part out of my ancestry of like, how do I come into reciprocity as a foundational awareness, right? Like that's a spiritual teaching in and of itself. Aini, you know, reciprocity. The Kogi talk about it. Like if we're going to be in right relationship with our environments and with other people, we need to learn how to be in relationship with the energy. And if we're too withholding, or we're too, you know, graspy, like there's mastery in working with that frequency, with that energy, that I've had to go through a lot of experiments and a lot of initiations around. There was one point in my life where I took 2 years off from I closed my coaching business, my mentorship practice, and I just went into a surrender experiment of, I'm not going to do anything for money that I wouldn't do for free, and I'm going to let life self-organize to take care of me. And I just surrendered it all over to God. And within days, someone was like, yo, come stay with me in the spot. Just give me a session once a month and you can stay. And I'm like staying in a mansion in the spot. And then I do this training, like, here's $5,000 for how you showed up in this training. Like, no, like just gifting, no contracts, nothing. I'm just like, okay. And it worked for a bit, to a point where I got benefactored in Bali. And someone called me up. They're like, hey, I really believe in the work that you're doing in the world, the kind of systems change that stand that you're for, like how you help different populations. You're not just isolating in an echo chamber. Like you're really out here building across cultures. I want to give you a gift. And so I received my first benefit. Like, so I went from being a hunter, like a hardcore high achiever, 10 clients a day, live events, festivals, you know, activist, like just peyote drum in the background for 10 years, boom, 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 you know what I mean? Sacred fire, doing all the things, boom, boom, boom. And my nervous system, you're talking about my nervous system, I was frying out, man. I was frying out. And so I finally got to be in this mystic stillness for like 2 years and just detox my body and let life take care of me. And then when I had a near-death experience in Bali in 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, I came back and my guides were like, yo, your mystic sabbatical is over, time to get back to work. And I found the balance of the hunter and the renunciate, the mystic who's just sitting in stillness for 6 hours a day, just attracting everything to me, letting my chakra do all the work, me not getting in my own way, just magnetize. And then the hunter that's out there and is masculine, like, I gotta eat, I'm gonna go get it, whatever, sales calls, whatever, you know. And I found the balance of the masculine and the feminine, the mystical and the bridge, you know. And it was interesting because for me now, I look at money as stewardship. So can I move it where it needs to go, like qigong, and just tai chi it over there? If I try to grasp to the water, it's going to run through my fingers. If I try to grasp to the sand, the biggest mistake that people in the consumer world and the spiritual world make is to assume that money is source. Source supplies money. Money is not my supply. Source is my supply. So that's the spiritual inception. A lot of spiritual people are afraid of money because they think it's going to corrupt them. They think but if you're uncorruptible, then what's the problem? So you got to look at your shadow. You got to look at, okay, you know, how deep are you in the material world at the level where those temptations can pull you in and sway you? Are you rooted enough in the soul energy that you can have the responsibility of working with that energy, right? So it's different for everybody, but I really feel like right now, as a systems change thinker, you know, I'm reading a lot of books. I've been appreciating Tyson Young Kapoor's work, Sand Talk, How Indigenous Thinking Can Save the World, Good Story, Bad Story, and understanding closed systems and how extractive they are. We look at the cross of planning, into the Rise of the Sleeping Phoenix. The whole cross of planning is built on slavery. It's built on all these messed up systems. And we're in the byproduct of that. And it's given us a beautiful platform of moving out of survival and coming into relationship. But a closed system, eventually, all the money goes to the top and life collapses in around it. It works until it doesn't. And so we're at that tipping point as we move into the rise of the sleeping phoenix, where we need to really reimagine and revisit our economic systems and how we exchange value. So I'm here to get the bag, and I know that the bag's not going to last in the form that it is in this culture. So I'm going to take that bag and I'm going to put it to things that have value no matter what. Water,
Right.
land, food. You know what I'm saying? My own
Network,
spiritual development, my
networks.
health, networks. Yeah, right. So we're in that window before the rise of the sleeping phoenix right now, where, you know what I'm saying, it's not about money, it's about supply. It's not about giving your power away to the misaligned thoughts of the capitalistic system that is designed to be extractive and depends on war to exist.
Mm, mm.
That's
Um,
just fact.
yeah. Let me get some shouts out. Big shouts out to Devon the Black Airbender up in the building.
Yo, what's good?
Anywhere. What up,
You.
Dr. Denise? Dr. Denise is the youngest tenured professor at the University of Miami, and she researches cannabis and psilocybin
Love it.
on the university. So go orange and green. And then
Okay.
big shouts out to Miss BJ Martin. She's over in Tanzania.
Peace,
So big
peace.
shouts out.
Okay.
We pretty international today. You know what I'm saying?
Let's
What up,
go.
Doc? And she's also a psychonaut. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just she's not just talking about it. She's on it. And we also want to give a big shout out to, you know what I'm saying, want to run a quick joint to Baba Kalindi Iyi, because when a lot of people ask me how I got to Bali, my answer is mushrooms. And then they'd be like, what are you even talking about? You know what I'm saying? So the funny part is Kalindi put me in the game so tight that my network just kept on attracting dope people like you, like Devin, like Dr. Denise. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, Devin, you should connect with her if you're down in the Miami area. So I want to how do we, because this guy was a projector, you're a managing, I'm a four motor generator. When we are talking about ecosystems that improve our nervous system, because for me, like it's like if you build a prison, somebody got to put plumbing in, somebody got to put the wiring in, somebody got to put TVs in. Well, if somebody's building an ecosystem that houses people and it's an institution, somebody's got to install the human design. Somebody's got to install the meditation. Somebody's got to install the hot water so we can have good ass tea. You see what I'm saying? So, in your opinion, how do you see human design playing in the building out of new ecosystems?
Oh man, it's a tool for coherence. If we really know ourselves and we're living according to design, we find the plug and play. So I think that the framework of human design is going to expedite the process of coherence building. It gives us a shared framework, a shared language that grounds the spirituality and electromagnetics. So we're not personalizing shit when we get in, because when you build at a level of an ecosystem or an eco village, you're gonna be looking at family systems. You're gonna be looking at people bring their stuff. They bring their projections. They bring their old stories, and so you can at least take it down a notch from the personalized aspects of the electromagnetics in those kinds of situations. And so to de-escalate the energetics, be like, oh, homie's just a manifester. He doesn't dislike you, and he's gonna do what he wants. Like whatever it is. You just so. I think the whole framework of human design offers us the opportunity to really start to get with our own design, and if we're living according to our other design, then we can plug and play with the others, that are on that cultural wavelength and frequency. And then also, I think this rise of the sleeping phoenix is a really big contextual understanding of this transmutational period that we're in. Like we're in a DNA upgrade. The old systems are going to fall away. Get with your people, start building at a deeper level, fam. Like it's not a time to mess around. We got 2 years to shift culture on this planet. We got 2 years to organize ourselves. We got 2 years to get that bag up. We got 2 years to make some power moves on the planet. Don't sleep. Human design is here to help you.
So why do you say we only have 2 years?
because 2027 is the rise of the sleeping phoenix. That's when the cross of planning ends and we begin a whole new period of consciousness on the planet. And that's going to include some breakdown. We've seen it. We've seen what happens to resilient communities when a hurricane hits. Asheville, in their progressive thinking, a lot of the homies down there, regardless of their worldview, you know, like the fact is, because they're in eco-village mindset, they're down there because they know it's one of the most biodiverse, food forest dense places on the planet. You know, there's a lot of those people that know the plants. So a lot of, like, that kind of community has a type of complexity that's different than a homogenized community. So they were able to self-organize a lot faster in the face of crisis, which is the falling away of the systems of planning. And, you know, no one was there to save them. You know, FEMA came in and they were like, yo, how'd y'all figure this out? Like, you're the most resilient community we've ever seen. We don't even need to be here. That's how hard they went for each other. And I saw it in Topanga Canyon as well when the fires hit. I got a weird relationship with these disaster zones. I don't know why, but whatever. I ended up in connection with these places or live in these places. They had to hold a calm nervous system amidst it. But yeah, I saw it in Topanga too. Everyone was like self-organizing at a high level, feeding the firefighters, getting, you know, oh, what's happening with this road, communicating. So emergency systems, unfortunately, are often the thing that makes it get real quick. Like, we love all the ideas, the ideologies around what a utopian eco-village situation to look at, but when the stuff hits the fan, then you really know who's who and how we actually show up in community. So the idea is to start to implement that now, why stuff is dope, and then we get to test the anti-fragility of the community as the pressure start coming in from life, which is coming. It's coming for all of us, right? You might see it on Instagram right now, but it's going to be in your backyard eventually. That's just the reality, because our current closed systems cannot last.
100%. What I like about, I'm gonna sum up what you said, and I'm gonna say bonds made and broken. So a lot of times, the system that we're in now, the reason it can't last because nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. No dynasties. Not the person that's in top of hip hop. Like Drake is not always gonna be the top rapper. You know, KRS-One was the top for a little bit, then it was Slick Rick. Things happen in cyclical patterns. And a lot of times we get stressed out because we're not ready to transition from one paradigm to another paradigm. So my particular take is the paradigm that you're talking about is what's coming. Matter of fact, I really feel it's like more here, because like even in numerology, when you are about to, like when the year is changing and everybody's like, oh, it's a 9-year. Yeah, but right around Christmas, you start feeling 9 energy. The 8 energy is over for last year. Like 2024, that was an 8 energy. You add up 2, 2, and 4, right? So that energy starts to die off. That bond is broken. And then January 1st comes.
Yeah.
2025, that's a 9. That's a new bond, but it's got a time period on it. It's only going to be 2025 for 365 days. So we look at a year, we look at the months, we look at the days, but we sometimes don't look at like cycles. Right. And this one started back in 1776 or something like that.
Right.
When the United States was founded. And so if you don't
1746. Yeah.
1746. So if you don't look at reincarnation, which I'm big on reincarnation, you'll think that Lil Wayne is your teacher when he says YOLO, you only live once. My ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that is far from the truth. Far from the truth. We do not.
That's a self-deception implant, YOLO.
Yes, because you heard it from a star. But guess what else he brought you? He also brought you tight, skinny jeans and your underwear showing. So how much can you trust what he says? Now, as a lyricist, I have no problem with him. But when he starts getting into like lifestyles and things like that, and some of these phrases that people utter and things like that, you got to do some investigation and have some discernment around who you taking this information
I
from.
mean, that's a deep dive right there. We're at like we can go two directions right now. You know what I'm saying? With the culture and the music industry and these embodiments that are here to distort the whole magnetic grid that are just pawns of a larger agenda, or we could talk about cycles and get a little deeper into that. So it's up to you, bro.
Well,
You let me know.
I'm gonna go in the middle. I'm gonna go in the middle and say, since we have the current state of music going
Mm,
left,
mm,
and we
mm,
have a serious need for the evolution of human consciousness, I'm
mm.
gonna go in the middle and say, tell me about benevolent culture. So now
Hey.
talk about like what you saw as an answer. Like for me, I was like,
Mm.
okay, I was already relaxing. I was already doing qigongs. I was already doing meditations. Let's put it all together, right? Which is why I'm doing my first retreat in Costa Rica coming up
Hey. In Maloa.
December. Y'all,
That's the
y'all
spot.
get ready. And
December.
yes, and but when I met you and you was like, yo, this is what I want to contribute to society
Mm.
as a whole that has integrity. I call you an integrity artist. I'm an integrity artist.
Mm.
If it doesn't
Mm.
have integrity, we ain't really dealing with it. You see what I'm saying? So talk about
100%.
talk about benevolent culture and where that came from. And like what I really want you to talk about is like the structure. I want you to talk about the structure of, but you know what I'm saying, a little bit of the strategy of how it's moving.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I had to reformulate a bit because when we're dealing with emergent, complex, self-organizing systems, you can't put too much of your personality into there. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's if the human being aspect or the not self aspect gets too involved, it's like trying to shape the clay, and life is saying, hey, hold up,
Tell people what the
listen,
not
a
self
joint.
is first. Tell people what the not self is for those beginners,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know,
or your definition of the not self.
my definition. Yeah, so you got a lot of different uh, interpretations from different spiritual frameworks or systems that talk about the ego, but in human design, the ego is something else. And in human design, they use the term not self, which is kind of like ego in other situations. But in this framework, the not self is the inauthentic self. It is the coping strategy. It is the compensated aspect that comes from conditioning, right? And so, if you're a human being, you got some degree of conditioning. You got some ways that you're going to play out not self themes, which manifest differently for the centers that you got, what you got going on, why you rock a not self in certain aspects versus others. I understand what a lot of my not self themes are from doing my work, right? So I have a high achiever part of me that can click on that it gets very, very, very externally focused trying to create results, and I can start to drift away from my creative process, or I can start to drift away from really taking the best care of myself. And so I'm always being asked to keep that balance because I got an open spleen, an open root. So you know how I create structure, how I nurture my physical vessel, my nervous system. If I'm taking too many calls, I'm getting into that energy, and that energy is like the capitalistic world, right? Like nature is smart and knows how to organize. So
Mm.
if we want to create a regenerative culture and we neglect our bodies, we don't include ourselves, how is it truly regenerative? Like I've seen it with a lot of these festivals. Festival producers burning themselves out. You know, it's like third most stressful job in the world. You're doing a regenerative festival, you're not living regeneratively. It's like that kind of thing, right? So benevolent culture for me is the embodiment aspect. We got to embody, and there's four archetypes. You know, we got the healers and educators. We got the beings that are really here to bring their medicine to the planet. You got the artists, and the fastest way to distribute a culture to the planet is through the artists. So that's why
Mm.
that's why I make music. I can only do so many one-on-one healing sessions with people or group healing sessions. But if my music gets out there, that's planting seeds of consciousness because it has the lived embodied experience of the things that I've transmuted and alchemized in my journey, and the mythology that I work with as a bard infused in the frequency of that transmission. It's in the music. So I can help more people with my music in certain regards, plant seeds of consciousness than I can to sit with, thousands of people one-on-one. So for me, that's one aspect of why I make music, right? I just have to, aside from that point. But in terms of culture, you know what I'm saying? It's like really important that we start to tell a new mythology. We start to tell a new story. Just like, so you're not getting that little Wayne gremlin in your ear that's like, you know, like self-destruct, self-destruct, self-destruct. I'm gonna say, yo, take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Your choices matter, your choices matter, your choices matter. You're a powerful soul, you are a powerful soul, you are a powerful soul, right? So what kind of messaging are we taking in? So that's two archetypes. The third is the systems change agent.
Mm.
They're part of the bridge building committee. You got people in game A on one side of the bridge that are really good in the corporate world, really good. They move and shake, they do their thing. They built a solid foundation on game A, and they want to bring some of that capital to the people that are building the bridge and living on game B. Then you got the people on the bridge that are like, yo, come check out the sacred fire over here. It's kind of lit. We're living in a more organic time. Like, you can breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, come relax. Go have a nap in the hammock. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be okay, right? And then you got people on the bridge that are, on the other side of the bridge that are, they already planted the fruit trees. They already got the tokenomics. They already got that Web3 stuff. They already did something that is progressively more life affirming than entropic on the other side of the bridge.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I live in all three worlds. I got a foot in the game A, game foot in me, and I'm on the bridge. Like, let's build. So that's the third archetype, and then the fourth archetype is the impact entrepreneur. It's like understanding how entrepreneurship, when it's benevolently culturally aligned, is life affirming. So they're the kind of the people in that side of the culture and that side of the world that understand why money has value right now. Let's use it to build dope shit. Why money has value right now. Let's create impact in the world. Let's get the money to the right places. So that's the four archetypes of benevolent culture.
Mm. And what's the strategy that you really want to see? Like, where do you want to see benevolent culture in like 6
Oh,
months and 12 months and 18 months? Just
yeah,
start.
I want to lift up the dopest conscious artists in the network and help give them a platform for their music to be received by the world, because this whole streaming old industry BS is not cutting it. You know what I mean? Like, artists got to eat. They're carrying mythology. They're important, and they're getting neglected. Some of the highest suicide rates are starting to go up in the music communities because
Mm.
people grind and have to like self fund their playlisting, and then they get pennies for their streams, and then they don't get booked if they don't got enough streams. It's like this. And then you get the billionaire tech people just like extracting from all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Snoop just left Spotify for millions of streams. You get like for 1 million streams you get 4K. For 1 million streams you get $4,000 through Spotify.
And Snoop said that wasn't enough.
$4,000 for 1 million streams. You know what that would have done? Like, if I was like, yo, I sold 1 million records back in the day, in the 90s or early 2000s, I was like, yo, I sold 1 million records. I made it. Done.
Right.
You get 1 million streams, you might get booked for a festival. You know what I'm saying? So it's not set up for the artists, and that's on purpose because they know the artists carry the codes of the new cultural framework of consciousness. And so we got to keep them in survival, keep their vibration low, keep them in the competitive narrative. But if we work together, a rising tide lifts all ships. So that's, to me, what BCC is about, is a rising tide that lifts all ships. It's like a venture studio meets a record label meets an educational platform. So right now we got Institute of Energetics, which is our main flagship in BCC right now, which is a healer marketplace. We got a breathwork summit that you're going to be at, Oyi, Devon, the last airbender, you know what I'm saying? The last black airbender. Like we're trying to elevate the homies that have breath technology and give them the platform. David Borges is going to teach, medical Qigong. We're trying to get Wim Hof. We're trying to get the little guys next to the big guys to create more of a ripple. So Institute of Energetics is a healer marketplace. We're doing weekly live events, things like that. We got an MVP that's an app that's like a $20 a month app, and you get unlimited access to breathwork, sound healing, meditations, and we're building that whole healer educator side of that archetype. What we're building out for the other archetypes, there's other things in the work I can't talk about right now.
Right.
But it's coming together. The different pillars are starting to work. And for me, I had to reinvest in my own personal brand because I go hard for my people, and then I can neglect myself. That's my shadow. I'm trying to do something that saves everybody else, and then I'm like, oh shit, I just dropped 30 grand on this mastermind and it sponsored all these artists, and now, that's not even generative. It's not making any money, right? So I got to put my money where it's going to generate more. And so I'm reinvested in my own music. I got 27 songs I'm dropping this year, 9 videos, an album, a collaborative album, an EP, tons of collaborative singles, and just putting as much music out as I possibly can. And if I cross a threshold of visibility, you know I'm gonna pay it forward and bring and put on my next person. You know, I got collabs with Shrikala, Karel. You know, we're doing a 6-month container for leaders. So trying to bring different aspects of the culture together through different collaborations. But collaboration is always the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to be isolated lone wolves anymore. The prophecies talk about how we need to come together as a community. So the organization side of it is manifold, but it's really about developing interoperability. How can I add value to what you're doing? What's the plug and play? Are we vibrationally aligned? Do we have the same values? Are you talking it, but are you living it? You know what I'm saying? Like, so finding the ways of discernment of like, yo, this person's really charismatic, but they're not in their bag. Sorry, I love you. Come take the course. You know what I'm saying? Or this person's on the level. They're really building at that level. I know I got value to add. You might not even see me because you like this. Okay, cool. Do your thing. Who are the ones that are available in the vibration, in the resonance, that could be in connection and get on that build at a level where you're actually in a pulse. You're meeting in a consistent way that's building out the from a coherence, from an understanding, from trust. People sleep on how important trust is. You know what I mean? You trust yourself because you got a spleen and you got lived experience. I trust myself from all the initiations I went through. So that's the first person you got to trust is yourself. But then you actually have to have people you can lean into and actually trust. You know what I'm saying? And there's a cultural frequency for where that trust in the old world in gaming doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's not life affirming. It's extractive. It's hyper transactional. So we got to get on a build where we can build that level of trust where we know we actually know someone's story. We know where they come from. We know what they survive. We respect them. We see them. We understand their design. Oh shit! You bring this gate. I bring this gate. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, so I think there's a lot of repair for people to do to build these cross cultural bridges and really get on the build at that level where we understand someone's gifts and challenges and to be vulnerable enough to speak about your weaknesses and to be vulnerable enough to be in circle and get called up and into deeper accountability. So yeah.
As y'all can just listen to Luke, y'all can tell he is well seasoned and well traveled. Like, this is the kind of guest that I will be bringing on the show that I believe that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in trouble. So I hang around cats who have strong networks, strong wisdom, strong lived experiences, you know what I'm saying? Have suffered some L's. Okay. He ain't just getting just all of his West Side. He took some L's, you know what I'm saying? As well. We all have. But how do we collectively just, you know, stay in each other's circumference or energy fields so we can all we can all become part of that 144,000 they're talking about. That 144,000, we need a little more than that, but that would definitely get it.
That's the catalyzing force.
Right. I feel that we probably already have 144,000 in the whole world. However, we got definitely got to be some multiplication. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, he had three main disciples. Then he got 9 more. Then he had like another 70. You know, and he was about them moving around, getting that bag.
But the Council of 13 is what did it. It's that 12 around 1. That's the technology.
Which was the same as King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Big shouts out to our homie Christopher.
Yeah. You know Rest in power. Rest in powers.
Rest in power, Christopher Powers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Little scrappy Australian in his 70s. You know what I'm saying? That he was just a little ornery man with a big heart. He was ornery. He was feisty. He wasn't let you go and push him around. So I might just do a whole podcast with just like playing like just interview I got with him that I haven't shown the world yet.
Oh, that we need. You need to put that one out, bro. As an honorarium, you know, it's on that anniversary. It's just been 1 year since his passing. Yeah, I got last year. It was right before the Culture Mastermind. Got the news about Christopher, and then when I got out of the mastermind, we did a vision, and then after a vision, I got the news about Luciano and Angelina, and then the year anniversary 2 weeks ago now, Aaron. So it's like a lot of the homies are going to hold space on the other side of the veil. They're going in their angel body to do their work from that side, and definitely the entourage, the spirit entourage is getting big, man. It's wild.
And I think that this is a topic that a lot of folks have a lot of stress over is death. And the other DE word, which is debt. Like I have some clients and I tell them, I say, tell me about your relationship status. And they'll be like, I'm single. I'll be like, no, you aren't. You go with your credit score. Like your credit score runs your life. Like their whole mention is, I got to pay down some of this debt. I got to pay down. You're not a business person then. Business people could care less. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think about that.
Tony Robbins, whoever, you could just name them all. Like debt is a part of it, but debt is supposed to be your hoe, not your pimp. And a lot of people are being holed out by their debt.
It's cold.
What?
Talk to my homie John, bro. He'll get your score fixed up. A lot of the my homie John from Deal Raise, he's on Maui. Happy to connect anybody with him. He helps people fix their debt and their credit in a really legit way. So a lot of the debt collectors it's illegal because it's already paid off, and then they're just collecting on top of it. So you have to have the right legalese and just be like, actually, my debt is already concealed. This is illegal, and you send the right letter. You know what I mean? So a lot like you see Brother Truth from Texas doing all his stuff on Strawman, and there's a lot of information finally coming out around how we work with the Republic versus the Corporation of America, and the sovereignty kind of stuff, and it's edgy, but we have to build that level inside of ourselves first.
I always say you got to be sovereign before you start talking about putting some paperwork in.
Yeah, and that's not for everybody too. I know people that did it, and I'm like, more power to you. I prefer just the energetic version, and maybe I'll do the necessary things. I'm always just trying to get like citizenship and looking at. I'm so 3/4 out of America already. I'm not even like trying to worry about those statuses.
Right. So, but my psychotherapist told me the other day. She said, and I have a psychotherapist. I have all type of therapist, like a cat like me.
Let's go. You need a team, man. You got a team. Yeah, that's it.
LeBron got a team. All the linebackers in every NFL.
Every NASCAR got people servicing the driver.
NASCAR got a squad. So I'm going to the Hall of Fame too. So that's why I have a squad.
Get your team.
She reminded me, she said, if the Matrix is a game, get the cheat codes so you stop getting killed at the same place in the game over and over. So there's not one of you.
Incarnational checkpoint.
There's not one of you who has played a video game and you just kept getting killed at the same place, or you only had 3 men or whatever. And then all of a sudden it was down, down, left, right, A, B, down. And then
it opened up. Level up.
There's no, and so now they just made the cheat codes in the like all these virtual games. They just made it more obvious. They were just like, if you can get over here, you can get these bars. If you can get over here, you could get this ammunition. If you could get over here, you could get this life vest. If you could get over here, you could get this van or such and such. They're just telling you that life is a scavenger hunt. I haven't even talked about this in a long ass time, but if life is a scavenger hunt, you better get as many cheat codes as you can, which for me, the number one cheat code that is just slept on is T. This is a cheat code. Human design, cheat code. But guess what? This was more simple. You only need what? Hot water and shut up. If you just, if you can do this.
Hot water and shut up. Qigong, cheat code, astrology, cheat code.
And then you start mixing the Qigong at the tea table while you're sitting there. You're changing your own resonance right there. It's when you get to be really intimate. Into me, I see. How can you be me I see when you always chappity, chappity, chappity. You don't get no clothes about talking all the time. You got to shut it down, be in the right network. Like, would I call myself a tea master? When I leave Bali, I probably could be a tea master because all the cats who got
You're the one in the room that knows the most, and you're the
I'm
master in the
one in
room.
the room. But I really like when
Strong title.
yeah. It's location, location, location. You know what I'm saying? Going to determine what your mastery is. And all of us are, as Grandmaster Sunyata Saraswati said, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? I keep my teachers close by. I don't know about y'all, but, you know, like, what? This is the one. He said, you can be the locomotive or you could be the caboose. But he said, you get to determine how big do you want to be? How big do you want to be is the question. And if you are really not understanding who you are, then you're going to end up here in the head, 70% you have an open head, and this is going to be the big carriage for insecurities, anxieties, and the not self, just jumping all down into your body. I say that, you know, like when they hang up meat or marijuana, they hang it up upside down, and then gravity pulls the stuff down. Well, if you have anxiety up here, which is a heavy metal, it's a heavy energy, gravity easily pulls it down into the body, which starts turning into more stress, more disease. So me, relaxation is the T, is all about you getting out of your head so you can breathe in the body and realize that Napoleon Hill was wrong. And that's my man. That's my man. And he was pressed at the time to sell that book. He was like, think, grow rich. However, you could keep the same book and change the title to The Art of a No Limit Soldier. Like me, I call it How to Be a No Limit Soldier. You don't need to think.
I love that. You should totally write that book.
You need to be in your body, because when the first time I read it, I was it was my first time staying in Atlanta, and I was printing t-shirts. I'm still in the t-shirt game. Cosmic Closet is coming. It is. All of you will be geared up. If you have Moon in Aquarius, a Sun in Libra, and a Cancer rising, I got a hoodie for you. I don't care where you at. Or I got a tank top. Or I got some G-strings. If you ladies, if y'all want to get busy on the beach, I'm gonna let you go out there and let jokers have a way to enter into your world through your astrological sign. But I done got all the way off now because I ran into a commercial. You see that? I was talking about not the
No Limit Soldier, man.
No Limit Soldier. So when I was reading Think and Grow Rich for the first time, Master P was dominating. This was like my first time I tried to retire from the game. And we was printing t-shirts, and the guy had never had this type of production. And he was like, I really want to scale my business, but if you want to be a part of it, take this book and go home. And when you come back Monday, read it. I mean, have it read. And I read that book that weekend, but it was like No Limit was everywhere, because Master P was giving his artists like 90 points when normally you was getting 3, 5. I think Tupac was getting like 14 points, and the whole industry was like, you're getting 14 points on your publishing? And Master P was giving away like 90%. I was like, damn, what? But he had an album coming out of the record label every week, and everybody was going platinum. Everybody was going platinum. And I was just like, yo, this dude got a plan. And I was like, No Limit Soldier. I thought I told you, No Limit Soldier. I really like retitled that book to be like, I don't have to think. I really need to get in my body, because we overrate thinking. Thinking is for like, how much tea do I have left? Do I have 2-ply toilet paper? And am I going to get some hash browns, or am I going to eat tater tots? Those are, or how many tater tots do I have left? And how many hash browns do I have left? I think of the mind, the brain, as your supply clerk. Really necessary, but he's not the president. He's not the emperor. The emperor's in the gut, which is why when we take mushrooms, we do
Mm.
what? We do it on an empty stomach. We do it on an empty stomach because it needs to go down to the abdominal brain and do an analysis of your operating system to see what needs to be quarantined so you can get out of your head. Because this is the thing that most people don't have a defense against. You're looking at TV. My uncle is like, he's on the do not detain list. He's one of those guys from special ops and stuff like that. And he's complaining today that he's not seeing any of his friends on Facebook. He's about 74. And I was like, dog, they trying to program your mind. You ain't mad that you're not seeing your friends. Your friends don't even know that they're not seeing you. They're seeing more ads than they're seeing you. And you got to realize how to protect your mind and remember who is out for your mind. They don't want you to have your own mind. Me and Luke, we want you to have your own body and let your mind serve you. As we say, mind, wonderful master, wonderful servant, terrible master. Terrible, terrible. So that's what your meditation is for. Your qigong, being silent with your tea, sipping, using the awakening the olfactory nerves. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it gives you an opportunity to experience something that's been dormant. Like Luke said, 2 more years, y'all about to get grabbed by the shoulders and shooken. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you're just like, what's going on? And I'm not like a Trump. Yes, I am a Trump fan. I don't care about voting, but I just like how he shakes stuff up. So I like things being shaken up, and I knew that
not a fan of Trump, but fan of the shakeup.
I'm a fan of the shakeup. I'm a fan, and I'm a fan of his kiss my ass, I don't give a F what you think about me attitude. Like, that's really what any one of you, everyone in America, you better get that. This whole thing of like, I want to be comfortable. Oh, I want spirit and medicine to be nice for me. There has been no transition in the history of man that was nice to you. I was talking to a young lady this morning, and she was trying to decide whether she wanted to microdose, she wanted to take 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 grams of mushrooms, or she wanted to do bufo. And she was like, yes, I just want the medicine to be nice to me. I said, well, you're not ready to evolve. I said, and whatever medicine you're talking to is weak medicine, because real medicine, you don't tell it what to do. You know, I can't make a request. Sure, but for what? This is like when you're in the back of the police car, you can't say take these handcuffs off. They're doing it for their safety. So the reason the entheogens are taking you down through there like that is because they need to shake some stuff up that's dormant that you haven't even been trying to chip away or clean out. So getting out of the head, man, is just so important, and realizing that a lot of the things that you think, they really don't matter. They're not even really in your design. That's why there's a 7-year process to work on deconditioning. I'm on year 9. Then look, when I finished year 7, right, Luke, I told my teacher, I was like, yeah, man, I'm finished my cycle of 7. He was like, you're finished the first one. I said, excuse me? He says, yeah, then you start over. I said, so you're telling me with all the information I know about human design over the last 7 years, I have to go through another 7 years of deconditioning? And he was like, it don't stop. Your learning don't stop. If you want to be one of these evolving thought leaders or whatever, if you want to straighten out your lineage and clean up your ancestral line, you ain't going to be able to keep doing the same thing you've been doing. It's impossible. That's why we're having these type of high-level conversations on my podcast and talking about just relax, sip some tea, let us talk to your nervous system. Let us talk to your DNA. Your conscious mind is jacked up. Your conscious mind is under assault. Your conscious mind is being held hostage by something you can't even figure out. Okay? Because how do I know? Because I see sometimes my mind wanting to slip back into hostage, back into the oppression trap triangle, right? That's why we put 3 P's in. Pause, push back, physical scan. Y'all saw how Luke was just sitting there. He was just digesting the words that I was saying. He paused, he pushed back, he did a physical scan. He was like, okay, I'm flying over the oppression trap triangle. We're not in that. But a lot of times people come up with this whole victimhood. Oh, I'm such a victim. I'm such a victim. We're building ecosystems that don't even acknowledge victimhood. Don't come into around us and saying, I used to be don't nobody used to care. I used to chew cocaine. Nobody wants to hear about it. I used to do some things that nobody cares about. Where are we right now? And which direction do we really want to be going? Do we want to be trying to heal this planet or not? Do you want to have more prosperity like Reverend Ike? Don't you want to have more more funds, more currency, so you can gift your loved one? You know,
let's put fun back in funds. Let's put the fun back in funds, baby.
Ooh, spoken like a true Goldberg, Goldstein, Goldsmith. Gia. Talk about that too, man. Like a name. This is good because we'd already been on here a little over an hour. I want to talk about this too, about identity. So me and Luke know about names, okay? And sometimes the science is called kotodamo, like the frequency that your name gives off. You can take control. Like, yeah, you spiritually had a little control because you was seeding your parents to call you whatever. But now you're at a place where you could be Jamie
That's high level though.
Jamie
A lot of people don't know about that one.
be Method Man. You could be Ghostface Killer. You could be a lot of these what was his name? Cary Grant. That wasn't his real damn name. What are you
Ram Dass.
But when he went to Ram Dass, look how the vibrational frequency changed. So Luke, can you talk about that for a second about vibrational frequency and names?
Yeah. There's from the numerology side to the resonance. You know, for me, when I took sannyas, when I was talking about my trip to India, I received the name Alokananda. Alokananda means the light of bliss. It's the healing side of Lord Shiva as the shaman. And it's also like a divine location. My auntie, when she said, your name's Alokananda, she said, you're a divine location. You're a loka. A loka is a realm. Ananda is bliss. You're a realm of bliss. You are a walking bliss realm. You know? So there's different meanings of that for that Sanskrit, and spelling, language is a spell. So when our name is a spell, is a frequency that emanates. So when it's spoken, we're ideally aligning our spirit and our soul and our body and our aura and our charisma to inform the morphogenic field around us, right? When we get out of Sweat Lodge, we say our name 3 times to call our spirit back from journeying through spirit world. You know, there's so much in you know, in some of the deeper mythologies in Japan and other in Africa, there's different mythologies around, like the sorcerer. If they get your true name, then they can snatch something from you and control you if they got your true name. So you look at the straw man too, it's all caps, right? Like there's so much around the name and frequency and energy that's a deep one. But for me, I had to go into my lineage and understand where I come from, where my ancestors came from. You know what I mean? I had the fortune of having a lot of memory as a soul, as an old soul. Like I had memories of my past lives pretty early on, and flashes and understandings and insights and sort of desires and attractions and skills and gifts too from those incarnations. And so a lot of my journey has been retracing that. And so when I tapped into the yogic lineage, I was like my first really big one of like, oh yeah, there's something to this whole thing. And when I went to India and I received that name from this enlightened teacher, he was like, what's your name? Luke. He was like, Luke. He said, Alokananda. And I'm like, you giving me a name? He's like, be happy. Go be happy. Go be the light of bliss. You know, and Luke is light, is luz, you know, Alok in Sanskrit, Aloka. So I had to live into what it meant to be light. And I wanted to shift my identity from an ego personality to my soul. When I made that priority, making spirituality my number one priority, I had to shift my energy from this material conditioned mind. Oh yeah, I'm this body, I'm this mind. No. I'm the soul in this body, in this mind. That's the core teaching of the Vedic lineages. And so it was a way to shift my energy from my personality to my soul. And then coming full circle back, it was like I needed to come back to my humanity, because a lot of the spiritual journey is like getting away from your human you tap into the multidimensional, you awaken in your avatar self, and then you're like, oh shit, I don't know how to relate to this world anymore. I'm too deep in spirit. I gotta come back. So that's another journey. Then you come back. So my journey coming back to Luke was like, okay, you went out there, you did the thing, you went into the multidimensional, you went to the spirit realms, you went through your shamanic initiations for 15 years with these elders. Time to come back and be relatable and be a human being in relationship, horizontal and vertical. You know what I'm saying? That's that medicine wheel. That's that horizontal and vertical, both dimensions. I know that I'm a God source being. I know where I came from in the universe. I know why I'm here. And nobody can tell me who I am except for like I know myself, right? So that's that vertical connection. But down here, there's some different laws at play. Like I gotta respect reciprocity. I gotta understand when I'm with a feminine being how I can hold space and be in relationship in a good way with my partner, with my family, with my community, right? That's the horizontal mastery. Everybody's good at doing this one. So this is where the real juice is here. So we gotta have mastery in both. And your name determines that access, that access point. So sometimes we need a spiritual plane name to strengthen that vertical, and then we also need a name to keep that horizontal balance. So I came back to Luke, found out my grandfather was adopted, and I was like, what? You know, and I never resonated with my birth last name. You know, I grew up in Staten Island and Brooklyn, and in a very sort of lower class, middle class mixed neighborhood. I was like one of the only white people on the basketball court. I was a Jewish last name in a Catholic parish, so that was confusing. So identity was always, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, felt like we didn't, like, I don't belong here. I don't belong on earth. I don't belong in this community. I don't belong in this culture. I don't belong in this city. Whatever. We inherently belong to creation. So the journey of identity is getting out of the identity traps. Like, oh, I gotta be defined in this way, and like the mask and like society and all the pressures, coming back to your true name, right? Until you know your true name, the sorcerers are trying to snatch your attention and your energy. Until you know your true name. So I got my true name back as a Cohen. I was like, oh, that's my lineage. I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, I'm Welsh, I'm Italian, and I'm a Ukrainian Russian Jew. And I had to clean it all up, all of it. I had to go back through time and be like, okay, this is where that trauma comes from, passed down. This is where that comes from. How do I come back in relationship with the indigeneity of each lineage, of each true sign? This is where the sorcerers came in and exploited the trauma and tried to steer it that direction. And we're seeing that play out right now. Every lineage has trauma, has colonization wounds, has a point where Rome, which created the mental mind as we know it, the monkey mind comes from Rome. The Essenes and the mystics living in the heart. The Condor people living in the heart. Eagle people, science, mind, right? And we're in this unique window where the eagle and the condor are meant to fly together. Science and spirituality, mind and heart, higher self, subconscious, integration, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. I didn't line up my signing was not synced with my words, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, our name is a form of power, and knowing your ancestral lineage, whatever it is, if we all go back through time, we had a song, we had a way of shaking out the trauma somatically. Like if you're a gazelle and you got chased by a lion, the gazelle does this shape this little shake when it escapes and it goes back to living its life. We don't do that in the U.S. We don't do that in modern world. And so everyone's nervous systems, like you're saying, is in a kind of fight or flight of that kind of energy of like being chased by a lion, but it's a social situation. So let's decondition that, because there's no actual threat in those situations, but the body doesn't know that. So you got to get into the ancestral lineage work to get the nervous system out of fight or flight, clean up whatever got passed down, come into a regulated nervous system, and then with your true name, horizontal, vertical, you start to shift consciousness on this planet just by being who you are, who you truly are. That's it.
Which is why sometimes you need a guide. You see what I'm saying? On all these journeys that the man said he went, he might have had to do the work, but it was also led. Like trying to do things by yourself, we fail. I succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I ain't trying to do it by myself no more. I like being a top shotter. Yes, I'm Hefe, but teamwork make the dream work. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Sometimes you're the one holding court, and sometimes you're the jester. Sometimes you just need to be in the council with Arthur. Yeshua and King Arthur needed the 12 around them, and it wasn't about them. It was about the unified field of each attribute. So one of the knights of the round table brought courage or integrity or whatever, and they all thought that their vibe, their frequency was the dopest frequency. Like, oh yeah, it's courage. Of course you need courage. Courage is the dopest one, but we need all of it. So as we become these avatars again, we become the 12 around one to unlock your own Christ, your own King Arthur. You need a Merlin though. You need a Merlin.
You got to have a Merlin. You got to have a Genevieve. You got to have the wife of King Arthur. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother. We didn't even touch relationships.
That podcast. Yeah.
We didn't touch. Well, y'all got off the hook today. Yeah, it's definitely it's all good. We'll get to it. If y'all want to talk about relationships, trust me, this is on here. I made this appointment with Luke last week or 2 weeks ago, and then got brain fog. He was like, "We on for 12 today, right?" I was just like, "Oh yeah, you even reminded me yesterday." So, but I said, I'm getting way more serious about my podcast, and no matter what, if it comes and somebody says we own today, then we own today.
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
I'm very pleased, at us just come on here rapping. We rap like this all the time. We ain't really have a straight subject, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we can turn up when we want to. But today we was just kicking it, introducing ourselves. You will see more of this brother. He also has we have some products that we want to get out to the community and the tribe that's going to help with pain and clarity. So you got, if you want to get out of your pain, you want to get some regenerative work coming into the body, bringing more light to the body. We both are solar folks. We love the rising and the setting sun. We got some technology for you. All right.
That's good.
We got technology where it can come in the mailbox, or you can come see us. Right. So I'm in North Carolina. I'm in Winston-Salem. You can fly into Greensboro or Charlotte, or you can drive in. And it's just like it's about to be popping. Now I got to get Dr. Amsu in here and do his interview, and possibly all three of us get on here one time, because I did listen to the song today, and Luke is going to come down here and record a video in our spot. So y'all should just go ahead. Please stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the channel, if you have not been to Luke's page, you see lukecohen.com. Luke, tell them also where they can find you on Instagram and what is happening on the website.
Cross platforms, Luke Cohen. That's a Cohen with a K. So think of Luke Skywalker, Leonard Cohen, Luke Cohen. And so, hip hop, neo soul, spoken word, 20 years to become a bard to transmit this medicine. I like to give inspiration and hope to the people. My motivation is hope. So it's all about self-mastery and building bridges. So my Instagram is a lot of I do spiritual comedy too. Got to make fun of ourselves and this whole circus out here. So inspiring memes, content, music. Spotify, Luke Cohen, website Luke Cohen, and I got a free community too for those of you that want to vibe. I give transmissions twice a month. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
What I was gonna say, I want to switch that color up, put that yellow on there, make it nice and bright, so people they can be like, hey, this is where I can find these cats at. Bro, I just appreciate you for coming through. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
it's time for me to go get some beef. It's time for me to get some breakfast. I did go to the gym today, but it's a slight fast. I also want to remind people, I gotta drop this last one. I gotta do a whole show around intentions. I should just write that down somewhere and just be like, I want to talk about intentions. Because that's how this happens. You just do a show, it's about to go off, you about to go into a whole hour discourse, and you just say, nah, just write it down. Okay, so today's date is the 24th of March, and I am the overseer of Moon Magic 28. So every month there's 8 phases of the month, and right now we're in the planning phase of the month. So everything that you're considering, experiencing consciously or subconsciously is going to manifest or appear in your life in another 25 days. If you are careless with this time, then guess what? You might get some junk. Somebody else might throw something in your boat. But if you are paying attention, you can be like, oh, I am holding the rudder to my boat. I'm the one directing. I'm the captain of my ship. But also it's happening at the same time as the last 6 days of Ramadan. So the last 6 days of Ramadan, the first 3 weeks, this is just like the short version. The first 3 weeks are for everyone else because you're fasting and you're providing for others. You're gathering a lot of boon. You're giving away a lot of boon. But the last 7 to 10 days of Ramadan are Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I want all of you to think and consider strongly, like what type of new thing that you would like to come into your life. We still just early in this new Chinese year of the snake. A lot of y'all.
I mean, Aries, this is the real New Year.
No, it's not. September, Libra's the new year. This is the year of light. This is the 180 point when you get Aries, where you get to see things. Aries is a yang thing. Libra is the opposite, which is a yin thing. So the beginning of the inhale. So you're inhaling from September 22nd all the way to March 22nd, and then it's time for you to display and say, that's what Aries is. Aries is the mover. So people come out.
Love that.
It's the beginning of the zodiac, but it's not beginning of the natural year, right? All the things that happen during the winter season was something that you needed to go deep down into the earth, like the great air. You needed to be quiet. You needed to let some things go. You needed to be depressed. But now it's Action Jackson, baby. It's Action Jackson.
Right.
So big shouts out to all my Aries out here. Big shouts out to Sagittariuses, Leos, all of that. Miss Martin said, listen, she said, like and share this video. She's coaching y'all, right? I think she might be trying to get a production job all the way from Kenya, right? So big shouts out.
Me and Herb are going to be out in Kenya and Tanzania probably this year. So, yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So a lot of Sebi communities out there, a lot of alkaline communities. So he wants to go hit him up, and we're trying to build. That's my bestie. So, I gotta go with him. And he's trying to get back to Marina Fasa too, man. He's trying to get citizenship over there.
This is why
I'm moving strong right now.
Your passport is that gold card, because it really is about your experiences and what kind of magic you want to lace your system with, because it's contaminated over here. So y'all saw me leave once. You will 100% see me leave several more times. Okay, I come back through and slide through for the bag, but once it's set up correctly, now I'll be sliding through a lot less.
Yes,
once I touch Africa and meet the right person, they ain't gonna want to let me come back to the States. They're gonna be like, hey, you know who, and you can do what? Oh no, you're way more valuable. We got houses and food and all type of stuff over here. So don't play with us, okay? And don't play with yourself. Get your passport. Luke, you got some partner words for the folks out here before we bounce? You don't put the shades on and got cool on.
Winding down, you know what I'm saying? We at the 120 mark. Yeah, just be good to you, family. Take care of yourself. It's okay to take breaks from the screen, get into nature, and love even stronger than ever. We don't give into any of the hate. Don't give into any of the psychological operations that they're running, the divide and conquer narratives. We got to build and find the real one, so you can do that with. And I'm here for you.
Y'all heard it here first. OE Sun, Team Tars, my man Luke Cohen, Team International. He's in the building. Please go check out that video, T Life. It's in the email. If you came here via email, the T Life video, now that you've watched this, go back and look at the dope ass video and subscribe to Luke's channel too when you go to the video. Spread the love.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. We're building. We're just getting started, fam. Thank you so much for having me on. Pleasure, bro.
Peace.
Aloha.